everybody, it's the Bull Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about accolades for the Chicago Bulls as we are getting closer to where we get to determine the MVP of the league, the Rookie of the Year, the Most Improved, the Defensive Player of the Year, stuff of that nature. We're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls first off, the players that have achieved some accolades, or I personally think will achieve some accolades, and then obviously we'll be looking at the players that probably missed out and stuff of that nature. I hope you can understand what we're really getting into in this video, and again, it's more of just a video so we can get into the NBA playoffs, man. Let's get everything out of the way. Let's just look forward to the NBA playoffs, and I think this is a big part of it as well. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bull Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls accolades that they could potentially receive, the individual players of this team, who do you think can get what, and everything in between. So first things first, I want to talk about the all-rookie team, ladies and gentlemen, because in my opinion, there is a certain rookie on this team that I think has stood up and delivered for the Chicago Bulls where no one really expected him to do so outside of the Chicago Bulls fan base. And his name is Aidan, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. I personally believe Aidan has a very good chance of getting into the all-rookie team. Now, I don't think he's going to get into the first team, but the second team is definitely an opportunity for Aidan to get in there. And I say this every time I talk about Aidan, the way that he's delivered for the Chicago Bulls this season has been truly unbelievable. He was picked 38th in the NBA draft, 38th. You don't really classify hidden gems and stuff of that nature, but I truly think Aidan in his first year for the Chicago Bulls has been a true hidden gem, and he has so much more to go in his NBA career. And the fact that he was not even picked in the first round shows that AK and the Bulls do know how to select them, ladies and gentlemen. It was a surprise that they ended up picking him as late as they did, but thankfully they decided to do so, and we never looked back since. It was a great pick for the Chicago Bulls, and I'm very happy that he stood up and delivered the way that he did. He had a lot of opportunities, considering we had a lot of injuries. He had to play different roles. He was playing a, I guess, spot-up shooter at times to just an off-ball type of guard. Then he ended up getting a lot of run as the point guard for the Chicago Bulls, and he could just do it all for this team. He could be an off-ball guard. He can be an on-ball guard. His defensive displays have been very good for the Chicago Bulls, up and down at times, but mainly it's been very good. He's had some games where he's had unbelievably good scoring. The last game of the season, to be of an example, runs out and transition very well. In my opinion, he has the potential to be one hell of a player, and I'm very, very excited for Aidan's development heading into next season. I'm very proud of him. At the end of the day, I definitely think in terms of the All-NBA rookie team being the second team in All-Rookie, I think he could definitely do that. And it's going to be a big accomplishment for him, considering where he was basically picked, he should be nowhere near it. But look at him now, he's there, and I really think he can get there. Now let's talk about the MVP race. Obviously, again, I think many people would know this by now, but of course, when you're talking about MVPs, at least our MVP this season, the Chicago Bulls MVP this season is DeMar DeRozan. Now, the question was in February, was he the MVP? And in my opinion, all the way up until February, DeMar was absolutely in the competition for MVP. He was definitely in the top 3 in my opinion, and he had a very good chance to secure it. However, this March and April stretch for DeMar DeRozan has really put a blinder of things, I guess, for him in this season. He had a 27 points per game season for the Chicago Bulls. He was incredible for us. He had 4 assists, I believe, as well. It was great to see that he was able to do something like that. And again, it's a crazy season for him. One hell of a season, in my opinion, as well. But that March and April stretch took him away from the MVP race entirely. So I wanted to get that one out of the way as well. I know many people might say DeMar DeRozan could still be in that competition, but I don't think he's anywhere near the MVP race at the moment. He's certainly not going to get that many votes. But again, it's an interesting type of guy. And maybe next year, maybe the year after, who knows? We'll have to wait and see if he can replicate this type of season and enhance on it next season. But at the end of the day, it was one hell of a season for DeMar DeRozan. And no matter what people say in terms of he's not the MVP, I think he's been our MVP this season, and that's something that hopefully we can ride into the NBA playoffs as well. But speaking of DeMar DeRozan, there's without a shadow of a doubt in my mind he's going to make an All-NBA team this year. Now, as good as it has been in terms of, I guess, type of guys in the All-NBA. You're talking about the Kevin Durant's of the world. Again, if you're looking at Joel Embiid and Jokic, many people are having arguments on whether that they should both make the first team or they should both be one in the first team, one in the second team, stuff of that nature. They're both in competition for the MVP at the moment. I believe they're the top two, and I think they rightfully deserve to be there. So that's a very hard competition to put yourself in, but DeMar DeRozan has had such an amazing season that in my opinion, he's almost guaranteed to put himself in an All-NBA race. Now, I guess that question is he first team All-NBA or is he second team All-NBA? And I honestly can't answer that. I feel like there are a lot of guys that play in his position that have done very, very well this season. I'm pretty much looking at Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum definitely has a good chance to get in there, to be honest, considering how strong they were towards the second half of the season. They had the best NBA defense in the second half of the season. Jason Tatum had an incredible stretch of games, and he's been playing well all season, Jason Tatum, to be fair, but it really stood out in that March and April stretch when they really started to win some games. But definitely in the first or second team, in my opinion, that's where DeMar DeRozan deserves. Again, I don't think you can have a season like DeMar has had and not be put in the All-NBA team. It's as simple as that. He's been phenomenal as an NBA player. He's had 27 points. Again, he's averaging close to 5 assists, 5 rebounds, high efficiency for the most part. And again, it's just really good to see that out of DeMar DeRozan. So I'm hoping we can have that replication in the next season. But without a shadow of a doubt, I feel like he will be rewarded with an All-NBA, I guess, honor to his name. So congratulations to DeMar DeRozan. And then the last player we need to talk about, in my opinion, because the last person that kind of has the importance of reaching that All-NBA level, let's talk about Zach LaVine. Now, Zach LaVine, this means more to Zach LaVine, in my opinion, to anybody, because of course, he has the potential to get the max contract for the Chicago Bulls. And if he makes the All-NBA team, he can end up getting the Supermax for the out of the Chicago Bulls, I guess you could say. And in all honesty, I don't think Zach LaVine's done enough to become an All-NBA type of player. If you're looking at the very beginning of the season, again, October, November, December, and January, those types of months, you might have had a conversation with Zach LaVine. He was pretty much neck and neck with DeMar, on par of having that great season that he was having. Unfortunately, the last couple of months, once again, very similar to DeMar, just, in my opinion, took Zach LaVine out of it. Now, his stats are still not a joke for the Chicago Bulls. He has 24.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 4.5 assists. That's an incredible season for Zach LaVine, especially now because we had another player on top of that that was able to have a very similar season. It's not better than last year, in my opinion. Zach LaVine had 27 points last year, but obviously, we're in the 6th seed now. We're in the NBA playoffs. We avoided the play-in, and Zach LaVine had very similar numbers outside of, I guess, the points tally, just 3 points difference in average, which is a lot, but in all things like considered, the team that we have now, that's a very good season in my opinion for Zach LaVine, but he has struggled, we can't lie. His shot selection hasn't always been there. I think this season, in terms of his field goal percentage, I think he's done a tad bit worse. I mean, just looking at the field goal percentage, he shot close to 50, he shot over 50% last season, and this year he's gone down to 47.6, so not too bad, but again, efficiency's dropped down a little bit. With Zach LaVine, I think if he was healthy, we would have a different conversation, but he's just not been healthy this season, so I honestly don't really know what else to say about Zach LaVine. I think he will fall out of the All-NBA conversation, and with that being said, that makes him lose a lot of money. I believe it's $60 million that Zach LaVine is going to be losing because he did not make an All-NBA team. But for Zach, you got to count your blessings. You're most likely going to get the max contract out of the Chicago Bulls. Whether many people say he deserves it or not, that's up to interpretation. I'm not going to answer that question as of yet. I want to see what he does in the NBA playoffs. But he's most likely going to get a max out of the Chicago Bulls. So it's a good season. It's not a great season for Zach. It's a good season for Zach. And I think we can see a lot more in the future out of Zach LaVine. We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of the All-NBA progress, in terms of being in that second team or first team or third team, I don't think he's going to get there, my personal opinion. But again, we'll wait and see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll earn that extra $60 million. It will come down to, I guess, what other people think of Zach LaVine's season. But thank you for watching. That's all I really needed to talk about today. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.